Hey, what's up, everybody? I was actually supposed to make this video a couple of days ago, but it didn't really happen. So I was actually I was actually 20 minutes into a video, and somebody started coughing, and yeah, it just ruined the video. So and yeah, I guess I could have edited, but I haven't edited a video yet, and why should I start now? But anyway, I want to say thanks to everybody. I appreciate everyone. Thanks to all my subscribers, all my new followers. You know, if you're just now finding the channel, remember my name or something, because you probably shouldn't have found it. They make sure they hide this channel because I say things people probably really don't want to hear. And so anyway, thanks for tuning in. And today, I just have this little theory that you know, a lot of us hear about the you've heard me talk about it before, all this, you know, white privilege, you know, Black Lives Matter, all this you know, social justice warrior stuff. And I'm not really going to talk about that too much, but there's a theory that I've been hearing, and that's what I wanted to kind of share. Rebellion is the key word here. And we've all done it. You know, we've all been guilty of it at some time in our life. You know, we've done things that are, you know, buck the system somehow. Either it be, you know, purple hair, or it be a, you know, a nose ring, or, you know, something. We've all done something. But something that we all pretty much have in common, no matter how we rebel, was the music that we listened to. And that's kind of what I want to talk about, and it'll come full circle soon enough. But you know, you think back to like the 60s, you know that that time period was all about rebellion because of you know, Vietnam, because you know, civil rights. There was just so much stuff going on. And you know, what did we have? You know, we had the Who, we had Led Zeppelin. You know, I mean, even the Beatles. Granted, that's a little bit, you know, earlier than that. I think maybe it was the 60s, just early 60s. But regardless, if you want to go farther back, you know, we had Elvis, we had the Beatles. You know, Chuck Berry, you know, Jerry Lee Lewis. You know, we had so many things from a long, you know, that we used as rebellion back then. And I guess, you know, in the 60s, you know, like I said, we had Led Zeppelin. You know, we had things they were calling the devil music. You know, the 70s, you know, that's when we got Iggy Pop and the Stooges. You know, I mean, we got so much, you know, out of our music. You know, I mean, the 80s, you know, we were getting like Metallica's and you know, Megadeth, Iron Maiden. You know, in the 90s, Kurt Cobain's and Marilyn Manson's, and you know, and don't get me wrong, I'm being very I'm just using the top names, but all of you know that there's 10,000 bands that, you know, that if your folks would have listened to it, they said you were out of your mind. You know, I mean, it could have been, you know, there was a lot of things, you know. And you know, even the 2000s is where we still saw some of it. But that's where I'm kind of getting, is this time period, maybe, you know, 2000 to today. And if you think about it, what do these kids have? And I can't emphasize enough how important music was to all of us as children, you know, or young adults, teenagers, whatever you want to say. I mean, it was our lifeblood, even for a lot of us today. You know, it's our lifeblood. You know, I mean, it's, if we didn't have it, if the world didn't have music, it'd be one sad fucking affair. That's all I can tell you. But you know, you get to this period now where all these millennials, you know, that are acting the way they're acting, spearheading these fucking so-called movements and all that, you know. And a lot of you know how I feel about feminism and stuff like that. I haven't really elaborated that much, but you heard me speak, so you get some kind of idea. But you think about where music is. I mean, everything now is, you know, Katy Perry's, Bruno Mars. I mean, even if you want to talk about rock music, I mean, what do you got? You got like Chevelle, you know, you got Five Finger Death Punch, you know. even rap has become like remember glam rock in the 80s, everybody with the makeup and all that. That's literally what rap is going through. Rap is literally going through like a glam period. I mean, hopefully it changes, good god, but it's like a glamour thing, with jewelry and how pretty they look. And I mean, let's face it, I listened to rap when I was a kid. That was my main music at a time, or at least half of it. But I mean, I grew up with, like, Rage Against the Machine was my main band, all through the 90s. That was my band, and they broke up in 1999, but and that's what I mean, like right around 2000 and on. And like I said, there's maybe a little bit in the 2000, but people quit looking to this music as a means of rebellion. And you look at these kids now, it's not there. They don't have any music that leads them to rebellion, that lets them feel like they're fighting a particular cause, or it's just not there. You go, if you look at it's like we had concerts, we had our own Walkmans, headphones, whatever you want to say. We had these moments where it felt like that music was for us, like it made us feel like, what, fuck it, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Even though we probably couldn't, because we were still living at home and we were young teenagers, but nonetheless, we still felt that way. I go to concerts where, there's so much life. It's part of the reason why I became a musician. There's just so much live blood at a concert that I wanted to be a part of that scene in any way that I could. And I'll put it to you like this. One of my favorite bands is a band called At the Drive-In. And it was like a modern punk band. They were created in the 90s. They also broke up in like 99 or 2000, and they've recently reunited. And I've been to see these people so many times. I've been to my fair share of concerts, and they went on tour. They reunited this past year. I didn't get to see them. And so I went online, to see some of, some cell phone footage, because Lord knows it's going to be there, of what these shows look like. And, it was, the music was awesome. I'm not going to elaborate too much, but I mean, I would have loved to have been there. But this is the kicker of the whole thing. I would say 1 out of 8 to 10 people didn't have a phone in the fucking sky. I mean, you would think they were all given glow sticks at the fucking front gate as they were trading in their tickets, for admission. Oh, thanks for the ticket, here's a fucking glow stick. That's the way it looked, because every single human being in that packed venue, every one of them had a fucking phone in the air. And it's like, are you there because you were a really true fan of this group At the Drive-In, or were you there because they're a modern staple? And you guys may even know this band, but they are a certain taste. And is that why you're there? Is because so you can say that, so you can get your fucking At the Drive-In t-shirt? I mean, is that why? And it all comes back to the same point. Is that kids now, young people now, millennials, these social justice warriors, all these people pushing these crazy fucking groups, they don't have anything. They don't have that Marilyn Manson. They don't have that Led Zeppelin. They don't have that Slipknot. They don't have, that Tool, that Rage Against the Machine, that Elvis Presley, that Beatles. They don't have it. Think about it. Because there's always been some like musician like in the news. I mean, Rage Against the Machine was on the news. Marilyn Manson's been on the news. Lord knows Elvis and the Beatles were. Led Zeppelin had. I mean, you look at all these bands. They were all on the news. They were all being talked about. This band. They promote this and this and that. What are your kids doing tonight? There was always some bullshit. But think about when the last time that happened was. Think about it. I mean, not that I'm trying to get anybody to adopt my theory, but I mean, think about it though. And this isn't my theory, okay? I mean, I've heard it from other people that have talked literally about this subject. And that's one thing that's missing. Grant, I mean, you even look at technology. It's not like these bands are there and people just aren't listening. They're not there. They don't exist. Having a band or having music that was an outlet for rebellion, they don't exist. And whenever I heard this theory, I mean, it was mind-blowing to me. I mean, now I know some of you probably gonna say, oh, well, I've known for a long time that, music wasn't what it used to be. That's what every single generation says about what music used to be. Well, music has changed since I was growing up in the 60s. Now it's all this electronic bull. We've all said that. So that's not the subject matter. The subject matter is, regardless of what generation you come from, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, you look at it, and now, I think about like mid-2000 to now, last 15 years almost, there's nothing. They have no outlet. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, I have kids in this, in this whole young person thing that's going on right now. Not necessarily fighting these fights, but I mean, they're growing up right now in this time period. And it's like, I mean, you rebel by listening to Nicki Minaj? You know what I'm saying? I mean, is rebellion Justin Bieber? I mean, Skrillex? What is rebellion now? There is no band, music, lifeblood for rebellion. So what are they doing? They're creating all of this bullshit, that same energy that we all had for rebellious music. I mean, we all had it. Every single person that's ever going to see this video, you all had it. Not unless you're deaf. Okay, and that's kind of horrible, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, everyone had that music somewhere. Like, you knew when you turned it on, you didn't want your folks to hear it. Or if you turned it on, your folks were like, what are you listening to? We all heard this thing sometime or another, somewhere. Even your friends could have told you, what the hell are you listening to? So, I don't know, that's, in a nutshell, I feel like there's so much. And since kids, these millennials are all over the internet all the time, when you look at the internet, it sounds like it's some kind of majority vote, when honestly there's a whole lot of world that doesn't give a flying fuck about the internet. Okay, believe it or not. And I mean, maybe some of you do, but I'm just saying, it looks that way when the only place news outlets go anymore is the internet. When people want to find out something, they go to the internet. And it seems like when you get there, oh, there's all these thousands of people that feel a certain way, that it must be true. It's like, honestly, no. It's a bunch of fucking kids that are like, 25 and younger that have these motivations to be bitching. And it's like, you know what? They have no influence. They have no influence through music to be able to get this same energy out that we used for rebellion. I mean, and I'm bringing it up again, but you take a band like Rage Against the Machine, for instance. If you know anything about them, you know what they were about. Granted, the music is obsolete and that genre doesn't even exist today. Okay, and that's fine. But my point is that we had that. We had this, fuck you, I'm not going to do what you tell me, that we carried around with it. And it's not like, and there was always some government issue, there was always some Democratic Party, Republican Party bullshit all the time. But that just doesn't exist anymore. These kids don't. And I mean, at least, not to say that we were weaker, but I mean, at least these things. And Rage Against the Machine was a pretty hardcore political band in comparison to everything else. And that's why I'm using them as an example. But I mean, even with that band and like political the argument that went along with that music, it was mixed with music. It's not, like I said, it was diluted a little bit. We had something else to, like, we weren't just stirring a bowl of salt. We threw in the cake mix, or we threw in something else to dilute it, and the end product was something a little bit different. But now it's just a big bowl of fucking salt. Like, that's all we're getting. And that's it. That's my theory. That's a theory that's being, I hope it's being spread around. I've never heard anyone else speak about this other than maybe like a person, but it was a widely viewed person. So I figure, I don't know. Hopefully it's spreading around, but I really believe that's it. That's the reason. They don't have music anymore for this outlet. There is no like band for us to point the finger at and like it's a dirty little secret that you listen to them. Doesn't exist anymore. Like the dirtiest person you're gonna listen to is like Chris Brown because on social media he beat up his girlfriend, or Nicki Minaj because she fucking shakes her ass with a fucking boa constrictor, or Justin Bieber because he swung at paparazzi. I mean, this is all some wimpy shit. Like every bit of it, all of it's, why do you think Slipknot can't make music anymore? It's got to be Stone Sour, which is some pretty foo-foo singing music. I don't know. I'm not going to drag this out, but I think you guys understand. I really would like to hear from you guys about this subject, and what you think about it. If my theory, or if this theory, I keep saying but if this theory holds water, if it seems like it's a possibility. I mean, I don't know what else it is. I mean, it's not like all of a sudden parents became really sweet and the parents from the 2000s and 90s babied their babies so much they become these little sensitive little assholes. That was not the case. I promise you, parents have not changed. They're still pricks, they're still dicks, they come from broken homes, all kinds of bullshit. But they've turned these little fuckholes that just invent shit to bitch about. And you know why? Music has let them down. I don't know anything else. I don't know what else it could possibly be. So anyway, that's it. Let me know what you guys think. This video should have actually came out a little bit sooner than now, but like I said, I had to jack it up. So I really appreciate it. If you found my channel, stick around. I'm gonna ruffle some feathers more and more here and there. But thanks for tuning in. If you watched this long, I really, really appreciate it. If you want to like or subscribe my video, I don't care if you do. So do whatever you want. But all I really, really want is to communicate, leave some comments, and let's have a little discussion, either yay or nay, whatever you want to do. So anyway, I'm out of here. Stay strong.